If it's one thing I'm always here for, it is a woman who doesn't do what she's told. And this Women's History Month, I thought it would be dope to talk to y'all about some of my favorite women characters that are here to disrupt, they are here to dismantle, and they are here to shake the table. If those are your type of books, let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back to Chocolate Covered Pages. I'm Kiona, and y'all knew I could not leave y'all hanging for Women's History Month. So I thought it would be dope this time to talk about some women that really, they make waves, okay? They showing up, they making waves, they walk into a room, everybody's whispering about them. They are very much not here to play by the rules. So first up, we definitely have to talk about the OG. This is who I consider to be the blueprint for that type of woman character that really pretty much doesn't care what you think of her. She's here to do her, and whoever don't like it, you know what they could do. And that is definitely going to be Sula by Toni Morrison. I don't have to spend too much time talking about this. Y'all already know Sula. She came, she saw, she did what she did. She made no apologies, and you know, it was what it was, you know. Sula, I believe, is one of the first of its kind. I think that a lot of women characters that came after her that really pretty much had that same attitude of, you're doing what society tells you should be doing, but who says that that is correct? And that was one of the things that I absolutely loved about reading Sula, because she was unapologetically herself, and she really did not care who was messing with her and who wasn't. And next up, we have to have Miss Jane Pitman from the autobiography of Miss Jane Pitman by Ernest J. Gaines. I absolutely love this book. I love Miss Jane Pitman. She is 100 years old. She's looking back on her life, and baby, she even though she was born enslaved, she did not care. Okay, she was not holding her tongue for people. She was the one in the room saying the quiet part out loud. If you don't like it, too bad. Too bad. I just loved Miss Jane Pitman in this book. She is so funny, but yet, you know, even though she comes across as very like very, you know, no nonsense, and she don't play around with you, she has such a big heart. Like, she has such a big heart, and I love that. At the beginning of this book, we do see her enslaved, but she's not enslaved for too long, and we see her start to, along with the other enslaved people, start to try to make a life for herself, you know, starting with the names. And that was one of the things that a lot of enslaved people, one of the first things that a lot of enslaved people began to change. And I loved reading that in his book, because you start to see kind of what was the thought process. Why are there so many black people with the last name Friedman? And that was so interesting for me to read about, and I just love this book so much. And next up, we have a woman that literally was not afraid to burn some stuff down, and that is gonna be Phoenix from the Book of Phoenix by Nnedi Okorafor. Oh my goodness. Phoenix was born in a lab. Phoenix was born in a lab in New York, and she has been growing up in this lab. She been in this lab her whole entire life with other experiments. She ain't know nothing different. They tell her, okay, you have your meals, this is what you eat, this is where you go to bed, and she didn't realize that she was literally living in a prison. Oh, but baby, once she finds out, that's all it took, is for her to figure it out one day. And when she figures it out, these people will pay. These people paid, okay? She got all these questions and nobody's answering it. And she's like, you know what? Bet. bet. Okay, say no more. Say no more. And she literally realizes that she has this power within her. And she is so powerful that they are terrified of her. And it just speaks to how us as women, we have such a power within us. If we would just stand up and realize just how powerful we are and how we could really make some stuff happen, everybody should be afraid, you know? Everybody should be afraid. That was one of the things I took away from this book, is to be brave and to realize what your power is and to use it, because that is what all these other people are banking on you not realizing is your power, and staying complacent and just going along with what the norm is. And Phoenix was like, yeah, no, I'm burning everything down, hence the name Phoenix, and I don't care who I gotta take with me. I love this book. I really enjoyed this, and I know that this is the prequel to Who Fears Death, which I still need to read, and I will get to that one. But this is a great start to Who Fears Death, which actually came out first, and then this came out. So I decided to start with this one. And another OG we have that is now our ancestor. She was very much a trailblazer, a legend, and that is going to be Cicely Tyson. This book, Just As I Am by Cicely, that actually came out right before she passed. I love this memoir so much. This is a memoir that I would love to read again, actually. It also has a foreword by Viola Davis. In this book, we get to know a lot more about Cicely Tyson than we've ever known before. Okay, growing up, Cicely Tyson was just always, like, she was just a fixture in black movies and black television. It wasn't a black movie if Cicely Tyson wasn't in it. You know what I mean? Like, she was just someone you just had to have in it. And I love how in this book she talks about becoming an actress, how during the times when she was auditioning for parts, a lot of the parts that were available to black women were very much The Help or something over sexualized. And she was just like, yeah, no, that ain't me, babe. That ain't me. That's not what I came here to do. I'm an artist, okay? I've learned my craft, and I'm not here to be nobody's mammy. In this movie, the way that she stood her ground, and you could even see it when you look back at her body of work, how important it was for us growing up to see someone who looked like us in movies playing a regular role. Okay, like a regular role. She ain't nobody's mammy. She not some slave somewhere. You know, she was and I'm not saying that those roles are like, they should be thrown away, but I'm just saying that, Cicely, she had a certain standard for herself. I will say that. And one thing that I love is she had a standard, she had boundaries, and she stuck to them. And that is one thing to absolutely take away from this book, is you can have your standards, and what is for you is going to always be for you, and what is not for you, don't feel like you done missed the boat, because I guarantee you she didn't feel regret. She did not feel regret about some of the roles that she didn't take. When she was able to look back on her life and the roles that she played, she absolutely had to be proud of it. I know that there are some actresses that look back on certain roles and they're like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? So I really want to commend her for sticking to her boundaries. Another table shaker we have is definitely going to be Gloria from The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. Now, Gloria, she's not the main character in this book, but she plays a pivotal part in this book, because her brother Robert is actually the main character in this book. This is historical fiction, and one day Robert is defending her honor. You know, a white boy has decided that he's going to try to put his hands on her, and Robert was like, yeah, no, keep your hands to yourself, do not touch my sister. Robert ends up getting sent to a boys' school. It is supposed to be a reformatory school, but it is not actually a reformatory school. What it is like it's a prison for boys, basically. And Gloria, the sister, she decides that, you know, this is a complete injustice. This isn't right, and I need to go speak to whoever I need to speak to figure out how they could get my brother out this situation, because this is not gonna work. And Gloria pretty much carries this entire situation on her back. She doesn't care who she has to involved. She going to talking to whatever black activist is around during this time period. She's getting people to drive. Oh, he over there, let's drive over there. She was insistent, okay? She was not someone that was going to take her brother's sentence laying down. And Robert really owes everything to his sister, to be fair. Everything to his sister. We wouldn't even had a book we probably wouldn't have even had a full-length novel if this wasn't for Gloria. So shouts out to Gloria, okay? And next up, we have a very rich woman that was shaking the table, and that is going to be Hannah Elias from The Great Mrs. Elias by Barbara Chase Ribbold. This book got a lot going on, but let's focus for 1 second. Let's focus on Mrs. Elias. Mrs. Elias was a sex worker. Okay, and while she was a sex worker, these rich white men that she was laid up with started pillow talking. And while they was pillow talking, they was just spewing off all kinds of information. And you know, they just thinking, you know, I'm just talking, you know, she probably don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But best believe Mrs. Elias was taking all the mental notes. Oh, they doing construction over here. Oh, what's happening in the stock market? Oh, okay, so I need to put my money over here. She would begin using all of the funds that she was making from being a sex worker and investing into the stock market. She began buying property, and next thing you know, this woman is a whole millionaire in New York City in the 1800s. I mean, who would have thought? Who would have thought? I mean, people, when I tell you folks is mad, they was mad when they realized this big old house here, this is belong to her. Like, she got staff and stuff. Like, how dare she? How dare she? But this is a classic case of working the system and using what you have to get much further in life. There's also an unsolved mystery happening in here, because the men was loving Miss Hannah. The men was loving Miss Hannah, and they was not afraid to bust their gun for Miss Hannah at all. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it at all. You gotta read the book to see how this all pans out. For me, I was just highly impressed about the fact that she refused to let these opportunities pass her by. She was just like, you know what? I don't want to be a sex worker for life. If these white men over here is making bread from investing in the stock market, why can't I do it too? Yeah, let me figure out how I could do that. Next up, we have to go and travel all the way to Jaipur, India. This is where we meet Lakshmi from The Henna Artist by Alka Joshi. I absolutely love this book. This is the first book in the Jaipur trilogy, and Lakshmi is a woman who, she left her home to travel to the Pink City to become a henna artist. Now, she was in an abusive marriage. Okay, back in her home. She was in an abusive marriage, and she was like, you know what? Enough enough. I need to figure out something else because this cannot be my life. Yeah, no, this cannot be my life. And she packs up and she heads on over to Jaipur, and she starts building up clientele as a henna artist, and she starts becoming basically the henna artist that is the most sought after in all of Jaipur. I mean, to the wealthy people. And while she's being the henna artist to the wealthy people, she hearing all their secrets. She is getting all the tea, and she just like while she's doing her while she's doing her henna art, she's getting all of the information. And she is also hiding so many secrets of her own. But I just really appreciated how in this book she is extremely clever. And I love a clever woman character. I love it. Love it. She is doing a lot of things in the background to make sure that things go a certain way. Okay. From the work that she does, she has a lot of connections. And she's definitely tapping into those connections. Like, listen, I'm not just here for henna art. I'm here for some other things too, and I need to cash in. Okay, so definitely check this one out. This one is filled with all the things you could imagine: scandal, secrets, sex, henna art. And it also really made me want to add Jaipur to my list of places that I would love to travel to. So definitely check that one out. Next up, we have Phoebe from The Yellow Wife by Sadiqa Johnson. Phoebe is a girl who, she was born a slave, but she lived a life that was unlike the typical enslaved person, because her mom and the plantation owner, you know, they had a little thing going on. The plantation owner is also her father, and he promises that on her 18th birthday he will free her. Well, I could tell you right now that does not happen. That's not a spoiler, but it doesn't happen. And what happens is she ends up getting sold to a place called Devil's Acre. And the owner of Devil's Acre decides that he wants to take her for his wife. When this happens, she realizes that this is her fate. She's been dealt some really crappy cards. She figures out a way to outwit this man and to make things a hell of a lot more comfortable for herself, and to make some moves in the background to help some of these enslaved people. Phoebe begins to really kind of get in her husband's head. She uses everything to try to make sure that this man is going to do what she needs him to do. And sometimes, you know, as women, we gotta do it. We just gotta do it sometimes, you know, because these men, they think they so smart. So I love this book so much. So that is going to be it for this video. Please let me know in the comments below some women that you also have read that feature women that shake the table, because I'm always looking for women that are not behaving. Okay, these are my favorite type of women. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up and a hype. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe for more bookish content like this, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.